and welcome back to Sammy's Kitchen. So today, as you can see by the ingredients, we are going to be making carrot cake muffins. This is a really popular treat which can be enjoyed any day of the week, especially on parties, as a present, and it's also a personal favourite. This recipe I'm showing is how to make muffins, but you can also substitute and make a cake instead. So to begin with, the ingredients that we're going to be using are 700 grams of carrots, which I've peeled and grated, 400 grams of self-raising flour, 500 grams of granulated sugar, 100 grams of pecans, which I have chopped finely, 100 grams of walnuts, which I have also roughly chopped, 100 grams of desiccated coconut. If you don't like coconut, you can substitute this for raisins or a dry fruit of your choice. You will need 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon powder. I've got 350 millilitres of vegetable oil. For those who are health conscious, although this recipe doesn't have anything healthy apart from the carrots, you can substitute the vegetable oil for olive oil. And lastly, we'll be using 4 large eggs. So that's the ingredients you'll need for the cake batter. But moving on to the delicious part, the cream cheese frosting, you'll need 250 grams of icing sugar, 50 grams of softened butter, 200 grams of soft cream cheese, a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste, and I've just got here the cupcake cases. And for decorations, I've just got some iced carrots. These are personal preference, so you can also opt to decorate with walnuts or pecans. So first of all, we're going to be making the cake batter. I'm going to be using my cake mixer. You can use a hand whisk if you have one, and you can also use a large mixing bowl and a wooden spoon. If the cake turns out the same, so it's just personal preference. So to begin with, I'm going to be creaming the sugar and the oil together. So in goes the vegetable oil, 350 millilitres, into the mixing bowl. And that's going to be followed by the 500 grams of sugar. If you like, you can substitute the white granulated sugar and use demerara sugar or soft brown sugar if you like. So we're just going to beat together the sugar and the oil, and this will take about 10 minutes, and it's just so the sugar gets dissolved into the oil and it's a lovely thick mixture, and you'll even see it turning colour. It will go a very pale yellow colour. So I'm just going to put this on. I'm going to start off on a really slow speed and then gradually speed up. So after whisking for about 10 minutes, this is what the mixture will look like. It's a pale yellow colour. All the sugar will have dissolved into the oil, and it will also, in consistency, it will be slightly thicker. So next we're going to be adding the eggs. And at this stage, I did forget to mention initially, but just to preheat your oven to 200 degrees centigrade. So when baking, always make sure the first thing you do is always to preheat your oven, because when the cake mix goes into the oven, if it's cold, they won't rise, and it will alter your baking times. So here I've just cracked my 4 eggs, and I'm just going to lightly beat them before I add them into the oil and sugar mixture. So this always ensures that the eggs are nicely incorporated into the batter. So I'm just going to add the eggs in, and I'm going to put the machine back on for approximately 5 minutes. So the eggs have been beating with the sugar and the oil for about 5 minutes, and I've got the desired consistency I like, so I'm just going to show you. It's a really lovely pale golden colour, and I've just attached my paddle, and as you can see it's leaving a trail in the mixture and it's coating the back of the paddle. So that's what you need, whether you're using a cake mixer, a mixing bowl and wooden spoon. This is what the end product will look like when it's mixed. Next I'm going to be adding the flour into the egg, sugar and oil mixture, so that's all 400 grams. So after the flour I'm going to be adding in my baking powder and cinnamon powder. Just remember, baking is an exact science, so it's really important to measure out all of your ingredients. So I'm just measuring out my heaped teaspoon of baking powder. I'm just levelling off the teaspoon with my hand, and that ensures the right measurement. And that's going to be followed by 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And you can be a bit more liberal with the cinnamon, because who doesn't like a bit of cinnamon? So now we're going to mix all the flour and baking powder and cinnamon powder with the wet ingredients. So just make sure to start off by mixing on a really slow speed, or if by hand, really delicately, and we're going to gradually start mixing more vigorously. So that will take about 2 to 3 minutes. We don't want to over mix the flour. So the flour's incorporated into the wet mixture, and that took about 1 to 2 minutes. I'm just going to scrape down the sides where the flour wasn't mixed in, and next I'm going to be adding the remainder of my ingredients. So now the fresh grated carrots, all 700 grams, are going to go in. It may seem like a lot, but it does help to make the cake really moist, and after all it is a carrot cake, so we do need the gorgeous sweet tasting carrots in the batter. Next, the pecans are going to be added in, along with the walnuts and the desiccated coconut, and that's going to be followed by the desiccated coconut. You can substitute the coconut for crushed pineapple, sultanas, or any other dry fruit of your choice. I know the mixing bowl does look quite full at the moment, but we are just going to give it one last final mix on a really slow speed. So now the mixing's all done and the cake batter is ready. And now we're going to be transferring it into our cupcake cases, ready to go into the oven. So here I've just got a standard muffin tray. I'm just adding in my muffin cases. These are easily available at any grocery store. Colour, size is up to your preference. The mixture does make 24 muffins. If you're using cupcake cases, you can probably make about 30 to 36, depending on how much mixture you put in. You can also make a cake if you wish. For that you'll need approximately a 9-inch cake tin, and the cooking time will increase. It will take about a good 1 hour and 30 minutes to bake the cake, because it is quite big. So now we're going to be transferring the mixture into the muffin cases. So now I'm going to be transferring over the batter into the muffin case. I am using a baking measurer. This is 1/3 cup. You can use a ice cream scoop, but I just find this is perfect for getting equal sizes in muffins. So I'm just going to measure out a heaped mixture of 1/3 cup and transfer that into each case. muffins into the oven for 18 minutes on 200 degrees centigrade or gas mark 5. And you can just test the muffins to see when they're baked by inserting a skewer, and it will come out clean, and that will show you that the muffins are baked. So after 18 minutes of baking, the cupcakes are ready. So here I've transferred the cooked muffins onto a cooling rack, and they're going to take a good hour to cool down. So we just need to make sure they are fully cooled, otherwise if we add the cream cheese frosting, then it's going to melt. So in the meantime, I'm going to show you how to make the cream cheese frosting. So here I'm just using my cake mixer again, and we're going to be making the cream cheese frosting. You can use a whisk and a mixing bowl if you wish. So first of all, I'm going to add in the 250 grams of icing sugar. I have made sure just to sieve the icing sugar because it can be quite lumpy, and we want a really smooth cream cheese frosting. So that's going to be followed by the 200 grams of full fat cream cheese. You can substitute a low fat version if you wish. And that's going to be followed by the 50 grams of softened butter. And the only reason it's softened is that it's easier to mix into the cream cheese frosting. And lastly, we're going to be adding the vanilla bean paste. If you don't have vanilla bean paste, you can use vanilla pod seeds, or you can use vanilla extract, but don't ever use vanilla essence. Reason being, it's never strong enough, and I just find the flavours not as good as vanilla pod beans. So that's 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla bean paste going in, and it is quite strong, so just be careful with it. So just make sure to start whisking on a really slow speed, because you don't want a cloud of icing sugar in your face. So now I'm just going to gradually speed up the mixer so the cream cheese and butter get incorporated into the icing sugar. So here the cream cheese frosting has been mixing for about 10 minutes, and you can see from the texture it's lovely and thick, smooth and glossy. So I'm just going to transfer it into a bowl and put it into the fridge for about 30 minutes just to firm up slightly, and then I'm going to be frosting the muffins. So here's the cream cheese frosting just transferred into a bowl, and it's going into the fridge for 30 minutes. So welcome back. I've got the muffins here which have completely cooled, and they're a lovely golden colour, and we're going to be next icing them with the cream cheese frosting. The cream cheese frosting has been in the fridge for also an hour whilst the muffins were cooling, and it has thickened, as you can see. So it's all personal preference how you'd like to ice the muffins. I just like to spoon it over as a glaze. You can pipe if you wish, but as it's cream cheese frosting, it is a bit slack, so it is harder to pipe than regular icing. So you can just see I'm just spooning it onto the muffins, and I like quite a rustic look, so but you're more than welcome to glaze as you wish. So I'm just going to carry on with this. So here we have the carrot cake muffins all iced with the cream cheese frosting, and I'm just going to finish them off with some decorations. So I've got some walnuts here whole, and I've also got some iced carrots which I've just bought from the local grocery, and that shows whoever's eating the carrot cake muffins what's inside them, which I think is lovely. You can add whole pecans if you wish. It's all personal preference. So here are the final decorated carrot cake muffins. I hope you enjoy them and enjoy baking them. Let me know how you get on, and I hope you like, subscribe and comment on all videos, and I'll see you next time. And a special shout out goes to Zoya, Hania and family, who specially requested for the recipe. I hope you enjoy making and eating the cupcakes. So now I'm going to enjoy my carrot cake muffins with a steaming cup of hot tea, and I hope you enjoy yours too.